Hello, my name's Craig Barton and welcome to a video showing you how you can analyse the results to a quiz that you've set to your class on my website diagnosticquestions.com. And remember, this is a feature that is completely freely available. So to be able to do this, you'll have need to have logged in and you'll have needed to assign a quiz to one of your classes. And to learn how to do that, just watch one of the videos earlier on in this series. So let's assume you've done that and let's click on the assignments page. And let's see how we can get to our assignments. So here we've got a list of all the assignments that I've set to my classes, and you can see my year 8s get hammered with one of these regularly. I set a 10 question quiz every single week to my year 8s. And if you want to see the data, simply select the one that you want to see and click on data. So I've opened up a tab already here with the quiz that I set to my year 8s in week 8. Notice incidentally that you can already get a bit of a snapshot of how they've done here, because it can tell you immediately how many have started it and how many have finished it, and also give you a bit of a sense of how well the kids are getting on. But let's go into depth in it. So here I get a nice little summary here that tells me an average score of 59%. There's been 33 attempts. That tells me some students have done it more than once, and the average age of my students. Now immediately I get a sense that there's a bit of a problem going on with question 10. By default, this will be ordered by just question number, but if you want to change that into the most incorrect, just so you can straight away hone in on the problem areas, and that's quite a nice thing to do. Now as I go down here, you get a little snapshot of each of the questions, and each of these dots represents one of my students. But crucially, if I hover over it, I can see 4 students have got it right, but here I get the name of those students, and for those who've given an explanation, I also get the reason that they gave. So I can see for Ruby that not only she got it right, but she's got a real good depth of understanding. Whereas perhaps for Georgia, maybe she's just guessed at that. And that's why Georgia will be getting into a bit of trouble, because I always tell my students to give their explanations. Now here we have a big crop of students who've got it wrong, and they've all gone for the answer C. Now as I hover over this, again I get a really deep understanding of why the students are going wrong with this particular question, because I can learn from the explanations that they give. And I can do this for each of the questions. Every single one of these dots represents a student, and those who've given explanations, I can read their explanations, I can see exactly why they're going right and why they're going wrong. If I want to go into a little bit more depth of this particular question, because I can see it's a trouble area, I can click on View Explanations, and this will open up the Question Insights page. And here I can see for students from all around the world the reasons that they're given for this. But if I want to just simply find my class, I can go to all users, students in class, and the one I was interested in was my year 8 class, which was that I teach with Jenny. Apply filter, and this will just show me the answers given by students in my class. So there I can see Ruby's answer, but I can see the vast majority of my students were going for answer C. So if I click on answer C here, I can read all the explanations together in a more convenient way. So I can go into extra detail if I need. And I can do that for all the questions. At the bottom of the page, I get the nice little summary of how my students have gone on. And here I can see a couple of them have decided to do the quiz twice. And if I hover over each of these, so if I take Orla, I can read each of Orla's explanations all together, and just like a usual question level analysis, there I can see question 10 is causing problems. Another quite nice feature is this download thing here. If I click on that, you get a personalised quiz summary for each student. So here's Orla's, and this gives the answer Orla gave, the reason Orla gave for that answer, the correct answer, and the most popular voted correct reason given by students all around the world. And this is a really nice document to print out to the students, or get them to save it in their file, or save it electronically, or get it out at parents' evening or whatever, because this gives the students a really good insight into the correct way of explaining things in student speak. The final thing that you can do is every single quiz has a filter thing at the top. So if I just go back to the top of this, you'll see that if I wanted to, I could filter my data out. This is quite nice because it allows you to do lots of interesting comparisons. So you can compare girls against boys if you want and see if there's any interesting trends. But a nice thing to do is if you've got two different classes who are sitting the same quiz, you can compare them. So mine and Jenny's class is on the same level as Erica and Karen's class. So I can compare my students' performance against Karen's students' performance. And I can see, for example, that our students are doing particularly well on question 3 compared to Erica and Karen, whereas on question 7 it's the other way around. Now what I can do there is I can read some of the explanations that Karen and Erica's students are giving for question 3. and question 7 and compare it to mine. So simply change the cohort there, and it changes what students you can view there. And perhaps with question 7, where my students are struggling a little bit, I might go to Karen and Erica and say, would you mind just explaining to me, how did you teach that? How did you explain that to your students? What resources did you use? And therefore it promotes really positive interactions between to staff, and hopefully improving teaching and learning for everybody. So there's a little insight into some of the ways you can really analyse your students' performance. And what we've tried to do with designing this is to strike the right balance between immediate feedback and immediate picture of results, and then going into as much depth and understanding as you want, to really help you learn as much as possible about your students' level of understanding. Hope that was useful. Take care, and bye for now.